Hello, Flosstube.
Oh, crap. Hello.
I'm Laura.
I'm Joe.
Welcome to the Slovak Farm.
This is the farm where we grow cross-stitch.
One stitch at a time.
Guess what I've been doing since Saturday?
New Zelda game came out. Cross stitch has been forgotten.
No, it has not.
For him.
Actually, I was playing long cross-stitching on Friday, so I didn't interrupt you while you were doing your zoomies.
You did cross stitch on Friday, so you didn't interrupt us.
And that's what I plan on doing again this year, and also this Thursday stuff. So I will get at least one day of stitching in.
Thursday you're not stitching because it's D&D night.
If you're all wondering, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom dropped on Friday. And I love Nintendo. They are the only console company that said, you know what, we're not coming out with anything new. Everybody went from the 4 to the 5, or the 360, or the, well, I don't even know what the heck Xbox did.
Don't ask me.
It's just like, well, Nintendo is just like, you know what, we're just going to keep the Switch. We like it. So when they released the sequel several years later, it's on the same console.
There you go.
Made me happy.
Made him happy.
Made her happy too. She had to buy me another console.
This is true. I didn't have to buy a new console. Well, I hope you all had a good week. He had a fabulous weekend. And a good week. We had a good week. Our pool got installed on Wednesday.
I had a really good week last week.
You did.
You did too.
Well, I did. Till Sunday. But anyways. If you don't know why Sunday was bad, you haven't been here long enough. Yeah. Nothing eventful. Fairly uneventful.
Which is in and of itself is a good thing.
Which in and of itself is a great thing. It really was kind of an uneventful week.
Well, it was eventful. It's just we already summed up the events.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
the pool took up 2 days. It took 2 days to fill the pool.
It took 2 afternoons to fill the pool.
I started the first one before the afternoon.
Close enough to afternoon.
I know, but
my grandfather turned 93 on Wednesday. That's pretty eventful, I guess.
Yeah. And thankfully my boss let me take off work, so I was able to be here so she can go hang out with her grandpa.
Yeah, so I can go see him for his birthday.
Just a funny story. Got new bosses, everything at work. And there's one thing that I didn't realize until today. I mean, it happened in January, but I just now noticed. I have a decent amount of vacation time. And my health is actually doing really good. No more gallbladder problems. I found out what my problem with my allergies was. So I haven't had to use that many sick days. My stomach's being good. Everything's going pretty good. And I looked at the calendar and went, I have how many days? Yeah, I'm planning a couple of staycations. Because, contrary to popular belief, because I have one coworker who's like this, you do not have to go somewhere when you take a vacation day.
Unless you're the stay-at-home spouse.
Honey, you don't get vacation days or sick days. You didn't get a good severance package.
The boss is a jerk.
Yeah, I know. She's standing right next to me.
I'd like a vacation, not in my house. Okay.
We are getting those too, but I don't think we could afford to be out of the house for as many days as I have vacation time.
No, we cannot.
That's my point. I've also been with my company 15 years in June, beginning of June. So, yeah, been there a while. Pays.
Yeah, it pays. I do have a random funny story.
Go for it.
I got a random text message from my mother on Monday. Dad needs to go to this place. It's like an hour south of us. Pick up some stuff. Pick up some fertilizer for the tomatoes. Okay. Want to go down to the bulk food store? Mom, that's a whole nother hour from there. It's fine. Okay, fine. Tuesday morning we went down to... So Tuesday we went on a little road adventure. We went to this place to pick up this fertilizer my dad wanted. And by place to pick up this fertilizer my dad needed, I'm not talking about like Home Depot type store or your greenhouse type place, you know, where they have set hours. No. It is literally a little metal office building that some farmer runs as a side business to supplement his farm income. Like, we pulled up in, nobody was there. There was a note on the door with a phone number to call when you got here. This is the kind of place we're going. I mean, they sell quality stuff, they sell good stuff, and relatively inexpensive.
Did you have to turn off the paved road?
No.
Okay, we're good.
No. However, when we got down there, we were surrounded by these fields that are black as coal because it used to be swampland. So, like, the fields are black like swamp dirt is, and it had a definite odor to it. And I'm like, that smells like... Dad goes, it smells like peat moss. I go, yeah. It was funny. And the guy had a puppy, and of course, I went ballistic for the puppy. I was like, puppy, I want to pet the puppy. The puppy was looking at me like, we're crazy.
Smart puppy.
Yeah. So we went and we did a little adventure. Went to the bulk food store. Dad swore up and down they didn't need anything from the bulk food store. Dad spent more than I did at the bulk food store. Got lost when he went to the bathroom because he found the deli counter where they sell bulk bacon. And, like...
I was so sad. How's that work?
Dad said... And my dad made the comment about, this is a heck of a road trip for bulk bacon, and I said, but, if you're coming down here, come down here for other stuff, that's something you can buy, and it makes it more worth it. I get flour, and pastas, and rice,
soup stuff.
I get these soup mixes. They're called soup starters. They're basically, if you mix them, like the directions say on the package, it's like a can of condensed soup, but it's not in a can. I can't eat canned condensed soup because I taste metal, and I can tell when somebody has used a Campbell's versus a generic, because it tastes more metally if it's generic.
Sorry, I had to let you play not to do that.
It's the weirdest thing, and my mother, it drives my mother nuts, because I'll eat something, I'll go, you made that with canned soup. She goes, I ain't had it. I go, taste metal. Mom, it's not like the, very rarely is it heavy enough that it ruins the dish for me, but I can taste it.
There's one other good thing they sell at the bulk food store. They have a wall of various versions of travel mix.
Yes, they have travel mixes, cheese popcorn, caramel popcorn. They have a wall of spices with spice mix. They have nuts and seeds and grain and all kinds of grains. I get a lot of different stuff from down there. Dad said they didn't need anything.
That gets to the really good part.
At one point, after we had found him, after he had wandered off when he went to the bathroom, it was like going shopping with a little kid, man. I'll tell you.
Have you met your dad?
Yeah, it's like going shopping with a little kid. Mom and I kind of rounded the corner. Oh, there he is. Okay, so we walked back there. Mom had to go to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom. While I was in the bathroom, Mother and Father decided they were buying bulk bacon. So Mom is standing there waiting for the girl to cut and wrap the bulk bacon. Dad wanders off again. He comes back. He's got, like, 3 or 4 things in his arms. He's like, hey, Chris, let's try this barbecue sauce and that barbecue sauce and this seasoning. And I'm going, didn't need anything from the bulk food store. He wandered off again. Wanders off. Mom and I look at the basket. She goes, you said we didn't need anything from the bulk food store. She bought my grandpa some ham salad. Which led to a whole conversation this weekend about cooking some food for him. But we had a really good time. And we went to the restaurant. We went to Mrs. Yoder's kitchen on Joe's, because Joe liked it. And I'm like, Mom, it's like the only thing around, really. So up the road a piece. But it's Amish country, Ohio is the foothills of the Appalachians, so it's very hilly. We're down in a gully. And car next to Mom's Jeep had older people, older than my parents by like 10, 15 years. And we're waiting for them because they had gotten in their car as we were walking out the door. We were waiting for them to drive off because they were in their car. We're assuming they're getting ready to drive off. They were eating. And my mother my mother they were really close to our car. So Mom and I kind of squeezed in and she pulled her door shut, kind of aggravated-ish, and she goes, they're sitting there stuffing their damn faces. This was literally the entire trip. It was just a running commentary. It was great. We had lunch at the restaurant. Dad said the pot roast was like Bob Evans used to be. And yes, I brought home Joe chicken.
What's really entertaining is that I told him he's really good food. He looked at me funny. He's like, okay. He goes down there. I talked to him again about it. He's like, that was good!
I feel like that's going to be our lunch place when we go down there. And then...
There's a reason that place has a 45-minute wait.
It wasn't. First of all, when we went down there that Saturday, it was not a 45-minute wait. And when we went down there...
It's about a 20-minute wait.
It was like 10, 15.
It takes you 45 minutes total. Like, if you're going there for lunch, you're going to need 45 minutes.
I'm not going to lie. At a restaurant that's really busy like that, where you have to wait to get a table, the fact that, we went down there on a Tuesday, we walked in, we got sat down, we ordered our food, we ate, we paid our bill, and I think we were in there for half an hour total. That's really good for a restaurant, I think.
There's also the fact that part of the way they save time is there's a buffet.
Well, right, and there's a lot of people that like the buffet, and you can get a to-go box and take food off of the buffet and pay for it by the pound, which is what I did with the chicken. It was really great. Dad really liked it. We went to the Smucker's store, and by Smucker's, with a name like Smucker's, it's got to be good. Yes. Orville, Ohio, which is about halfway between home and Amish country, is where Smucker's is from. They have a company store. It's not really an outlet store. It's a company. I would call it a company store because, it's all first quality stuff. But around here, finding the sugar-free Smucker's stuff is a little challenging. They have a couple of things in the grocery store Mom and I shop at. Most of the stores around here only have 1 or 2 things. They have, blackberry, raspberry, strawberry, orange marmalade.
I'm assuming by sugar-free they mean no sugar added.
Right, it's a no sugar added
product. There's sugar and fruit. That's what I was asking.
Well, yeah, there's no. It's a non-sugar added. It doesn't have aspartame as a sweetener in it, so I can eat it.
Don't consider the fact that
the hot fudge sauce, the hot caramel sauce. You can't find. I mean, up here, what you can find is their sugar-free strawberry jam, and I think blackberry, and that's like it.
Can't find sugar-free grape. Error.
So we got some sugar-free stuff. I got a thing of coffee because Folgers is part of J.P. Smucker's. And they happen to have a canister of coffee there. And I'm like, why not?
Yay!
But we had a really good time. And my dad was hilarious. And the running commentary while we were driving. I was in the backseat dying. But, I know we'll be going more because Mom, Sunday when we were going to pick up the pizza, she's like, your dad had a really good time. She's like, we need to do more. I'm like, yes, we do need to do more. My only complaint with Amish country, and I don't know how they do this, why they do this, you can get a book of attractions, shops, restaurants, blah, 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 blah. But most of what's down there is not in this book.
Wanna know why? They didn't pay for it.
Which seems really...
That book...
And I'm sure that's
there to
the
make
reason.
money. They give it out for free because the people who pay for it are the people who are in it.
Who are in it, and I'm sure that's true. But I
Somebody
told Mom...
paid for those books.
But I told Mom, when we go down there, I said, from now, I go, no, when I need stuff from the bulk food store, we'll go down there on a day, we'll go, let's stop at this place and see if we like it.
There's only one thing I know for sure about going down there.
We are having lunch at Mrs. Yoder's kitchen.
No, that is not what I was going to say. I am not driving during the night. Those roads, especially the first time we went down there, it was raining and pitch black dark. With those roads, it was not fun. Plus, the GPS decided to take us the weirdest, most off-road way. I really need a feature for those phone GPS apps that says, please stop trying to kill me.
What they really need is a main routes feature. Because you have a feature where you can avoid toll roads, you have a feature where you can avoid highways. You kind of need, and I don't know how it would work, but you need a feature that says main routes, so you're not taking back roads and side streets, because it does do that a lot.
Well, I kind of wish
we've now spent 17 minutes talking for our intro.
I think it's kind of like how I'd like it is like, you know how Wave can like say Waze can say like this accident ahead, something like that. Where I can say this intersection, this turn sucks, and after X number of people go, this turn sucks, they stop taking you on that route. Because there was this one turn where there was actually a wall that was somebody's property, and then the road. And there was like, I don't even think it was 2 lanes, but it was 2 direction around this freaking wall, and it was a really sharp turn. I'm like, I don't know what the speed limit is, but I'm doing 10.
And like, down in that area, because that's close to where my Aunt Mary Ann's lake house is, you know, there is a lot of really weird back roads that are kind of...
Yeah, back roads like how they have back home, where I'm from.
Yeah.
It's...
I mean, to be honest, there's back roads, like, there's really teeny tiny back roads up here. The bigger,
yeah, but they're usually straight.
The bigger problem down there is it's kind of windy and curvy.
Yeah. The thing is, up where we are now, where we live, basically...
Very flat.
Yeah, like, you can literally see for miles. If it's just after planting, before anything starts to grow, you go down to, like, just north of this region here, holy crap, this is the place you actually do that light a match and see how far away you can see it thing. And you'd be able to see because you have a straight shot.
But all in all, it was a good time, so... And yes, we just spent nearly 20 minutes talking about, not a lot, but, I don't know, people don't seem to object. I don't know.
Comment below. You like hearing how our week has been?
I mean, I know people like don't like people who spend tons of time on the personal stuff, and I try to avoid that, but what's it?
It's been a week. Comment time?
Let's shout out our commenters.
Susie Scott, Teresa, Lynn.
Lynn made several comments.
Okay, me and Lynn Toby has to go hang out. And Tamara, the PD Stitcher.
PD Stitcher tomorrow, yes. That's it. That's all the comments we got.
I'm sorry, Lynn. I didn't realize that you're... I hate medication. Medication with doctors is a pain in the wompa.
There's a lot of things that are paying the womp right now. Well, now that we've talked your all's ear off, let's go into whips. Whips! The neighbors are going to wonder what's going on over here.
Actually, they're probably just like, what the hell's that weirdo doing again?
Yeah, we could be worse. We could be worse. We are not the bad neighbors.
Oh, random thought I just had when you said whips. Ready
What?
for my ADD thought?
What?
It'd be really funny if Jacques the Whipper was a cross stitcher too.
Yes, it would be. If you don't know who Jacques the Whipper is, look him up on TikTok or Instagram.
Or YouTube.
Or YouTube.
Be funny. Okay, I did The Legend of Zelda. Think I'm up, okay? There we go. The Legend of Zelda, the Light World map.
Which, yeah, Legend of Zelda, you said that.
The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, specifically on the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
I got like 3. Ooh, sugar.
Oh, sugar what?
Oh, I forgot to go back.
Oh.
The bottom line is half stitches. Because I'm actually going to do that while I was talking. Because I need to get this done before
Squirrel.
I forget. Yep, you go ahead, Jim.
Okay.
That's what I just.
Well, so last week was Cinco de Mayo week in Daily 30. So we're going to start with I did my Sal. I did my Sal prompt for Manning May, which is a Carolyn Manning design.
What the frick?
Not entirely sure. So I worked on Arctic Blast, which was the free pattern she gave away in her Facebook group. It is still free in her Facebook group. At least I think it is. And I haven't decided if I'm going to stick with this week, do another Manning May for my Sal entry, or if I will go back to one of my other two. I almost am tempted to do this one again. I think I'm a little bit burned out on my other two. So, I did 363 stitches. I filled this, I filled in up here, and then kind of started working down in here. I'm working on the first page. This is on an 18 count, 16 count white Ada. Because it is full coverage, it's whole cross. I'm 16 counting it. I'm doing Ada, and I'm just doing it on white. So, like, if you see right here, there's a blank space here. You can't really see it. But, like, this is the first page, so I'm just kind of working on the first page. And kind of, if they are connected or close by, I'll, you know, work the color through. This is a nice get quick stitches project. It's relatively mindless. It's fairly repetitive, which kind of helps with some of the...
One of those stitches?
What? They're mindless. And I like it. There's quite a few Carolyn Mannings I like, so we may do another one at some point. Well, I own another one to do.
While you're doing that, I got another question. Does anybody out there at all in this universe actually not have a not started pattern? Is there anybody out there that actually has started every pattern they own? And they only buy patterns when they're going to start them right away. Is there anybody actually like that?
I know there are people out there like that. I don't know that they watch our channel, though.
I don't know them.
I mean... Okay, so then I pulled out... So, when we... So... Just going into the Cinco de Mayo week prompts, it was a 100-200 week. So, stitch on a whip that reminds you of friendship and a whip that makes you happy. I started this. I started Primrose Cottage Pumpkin Patch with a couple of friends. And, you know, it's got a truck, and it's fall, and those things make me happy. So that's how I fit those 2 prompts.
Also, I'm pretty sure you'd be happy if you were living on a pumpkin patch.
Mm-hmm. Something just fell into my lap. This is stitched on a 32 count, kind of green. It's you can't really see it. This doesn't have a name because it was a test die and it didn't work out the best. You can't really see the red yellow spots, but there's lots of splotches. I'm okay with it. It just didn't work out for sellable. So I finished the banner that says Pumpkin Patch and put the birds on. And that was 538 stitches. And I filled in the letters. The letters are filled in. So, this technically can probably at this point graduate to the almost finished pile. When I talk about my 3 different categories, to be fairly honest, unless it's going into the almost finished pile, there probably won't be any movement. Unless it's a new pattern that I'm putting on the just started list. I've thought about in July, possibly, June, July, possibly going through my list, mid-year revamp, making sure categories are appropriately adjusted. But there's no guarantee. So, then, something you had a misconception about and something that's similar to your other whips. So, I didn't really apparently read the stitch counts on this, and I thought this was not quite as gigantic. I mean, I knew it was big, but I didn't think it was as big as it was. This is Pumpkin Farm by Cora Albacora. And it is similar to other whips because, as you just saw, I have several fall whips. This is on a piece of heirloom, 32 count heirloom, by me, the Slovak Farm. And I did 418 stitches, which was to do the vine right here. This pumpkin guy, I started filling in the vines on this pumpkin guy.
Yay!
So, yay! And yeah, it's a bit bigger. It's a little bit bigger than I anticipated it to be. But it'll be fine. I do like it. It is pretty. Okay, so that finished up Cinco de Mayo week. Oh, the 5th prompt was something that I did last week. That's right. I'm like, what am I missing? So then I rolled into working on the monthly. So I have the letter L and the letter W. W for the W's that are stitched on the pattern. L, and that's only because I couldn't find a cover page with the name of the pattern on it, and I was too lazy to look for it. And the L is for the lamp that's on there, the lamp post that's on there. This is Winter Solstice by Kanicki's. This is another project that's stitched on 32 heirloom. And I did 647 stitches on it. So, this over here is finished. I am not going to lie, I don't love this. The snowman really lacks definition on his bottom because they're very close in color. They're very blended.
Is there any back stitching?
There's no back stitching. I screwed up in here, so my count's a little bit off. It doesn't look bad. That's why I started the bird off of here. It'll be fine because it's too close to the fence post, so. But I don't love this little snowman guy over here. But I love this big bird. This big bird is beautiful. So that is 647 stitches on it. This could probably be thrown into the almost finished list as well. And then it was time to bust out my next Olympics piece. And when presented with 3 options that were available for the next Olympics piece, hubby chose A Greyhound Year by Blue Flower. That's not the Greyhound Scream of Death. The Greyhound Scream of Death is more along the line of, I'm not going to do it because it's ear splitting.
I was trying to be nice.
And for the record, the Greyhound Scream of Death is, you know how your dog yips when they injure themselves. This is what greyhounds do, except it is very high pitched and it is very dramatic and it is over every little thing, and we laugh really hard. So this is on a piece of aquamarine 32 count. I'm not gonna lie, when I first started this on this fabric color, I was very skeptical. I was questioning my own decisions. I like my decisions. I like how my decisions have worked out. So I finished the April dog. I am doing none of the called fors because she calls for nearly 30 over-dyed flosses. I'm not buying that many flosses. I am doing 2 of the called fors. The overdyes that are these 2 this strip here. So one is tartan plaid and one is blue corn. I am doing those. The little diamonds have little bitty motifs in them, and then the background is filled in with, I can't remember, I think it's blue corn. I am saving those for last, because if I don't have enough blue corn, I don't know if I'll have enough blue corn. I've got something else that will work. It's a similar-ish color. So I changed the April dog to be a black greyhound because our greyhound is black, and her birthday and gotcha day are both in April. So, and then I worked on filling out, getting the frames down here done for these 2. That was a total of 1,200 stitches. It was a lot of stitches. It was a big difference. So, that has been my stitching this week. And Joe's stitching this week. And in case you're wondering, I completed Olympic number 20 this week, which is the 1972 Munich, Germany Olympics. In case you're wondering. Woohoo! Alright, well, there is no haul this week. Right? Right, there's no haul this week. So let's move on to plans. Plans and announcements.
I'm done.
That's your plans.
That's also this.
There's more Zelda playing. Okay.
And also I got finished doing some work with the pool, so I got a busy week.
Cute. We're dropping things. I need to go back here. Okay. That's been stitched on. Alright, so let's hash out this week's Daily 30. And you can help me figure out what to stitch for the plant prompts.
Okay.
So, this week's Daily 30 is all about Cleveland, Ohio. Who wrote the prompts for this week's Daily 30? As soon as they were put up, one of my friends messaged, "Did you write the prompts this week?" Yes. How could you tell? Alright. So they are based on Cleveland, Ohio, which was founded in 1796 and is the largest city on the shores of Lake Erie. Let us start. Prompt 1. Cleveland was established on July 22nd, 1796, and is named after the surveyor who discovered the area, the man who surveyed the area, who was in charge of surveying the area, Moses Cleveland. In 1814, the settlement became a town, and in 1836, Cleveland became a city. Now, Cleveland is traditionally spelled C-L-E-V-E-L-A-N-D. Moses Cleveland's last name was spelled C-L-E-A-V-E-L-A-N-D. There's a great popular story that circulates around Cleveland every July about how Cleveland, the town, got its name because a newspaper in the area was printing a story about Cleveland becoming a city, and they didn't have enough type space to fit the extra A. The A after the first E. It's not true. It's not a true story. Most people dropped the A almost as soon as Cleveland founded it, including Moses Cleveland himself. So the prompt is to stitch on a whip that has a really great story and to tell us that story. So for the month of May, most of the prompts are kind of very open and generic because of mania. We try to do that. So, I don't know. My options are the reindeer from Cottage Garden Sampling. Spirit of Christmas has a pretty good story because that's the pattern that was in my first ever mystery box from the LMS. Sampler book. Sampler book has a really great story because... Well, they all kind of do have it, but Sampler book was like one of those where I looked at it and looked at it and looked at it and was like, I'm not going to stitch that because it's too complicated for me. And I literally still think it's too complicated for me. But I was able to get it off a stash on load and I just went, F it, stitching it.
Okay, that's one you're doing next.
So that one would have a really great story. And then...
That's the one you're doing.
Fall on the Farm, Inshores of Popcorn Hall. That's what I'm doing. Are you writing this down?
No.
I don't have a piece of paper to write this down on. Can you use the back of an envelope? Okay. Cleveland was a hugely industrial city throughout most of its modern history. Unfortunately, this caused for some severe environmental issues. In the Cuyahoga River, which Cleveland sits on the banks of, including, but not limited to, 13 different fires on the Cuyahoga River.
By the way, she's not talking the banks.
The actual river has burned 13 times. The oil and the debris on the river has burned 13 times. If you have ever seen a picture of the Cuyahoga River on fire, you are seeing pictures from the 1952 fire, which caused $1 million in damage. And no, I could not find if that was $1 million of 1952 dollars. I think it was $1 million 1952 dollars.
Yeah, because modern day, anything environmental like that would be a lot more.
It would be way more. It did catch on fire one other time after that, which was in 1962. However, at the time of that fire, the 1952 fires really sort of became popular and seen throughout the country. Mayor Carl Stokes really started making a push to clean up the river. And today, the river is teeming with fish life. There are dinner cruises. There's a company that does a dinner cruise where you go up and down you go up the Cuyahoga River and you eat a meal and you enjoy the sights.
There's tubing. You get in the tube and ride down the river, remember?
That's farther up. That's not really...
But it's still the Cuyahoga.
Yeah. There's a place you can go tubing. There's another big boat that kind of just does a little tour up the river and turns around and comes back. There's kayaking in the area. There's...
In other words, the water's not going to kill you anymore.
Right. There's all kinds of stuff. So... Stitch on a whip that has been a major cleanup and be creative. And explain how you cleaned up with that whip.
I know which one I want to do. I don't think it's one of your options.
Which one?
Turtle.
Turtle?
Quaker turtle?
Quaker turtle?
You had to redo an entire couple shells?
He is not wrong. I have had major frogging on that.
That is probably the most Cleveland level of oh crap you've ever had.
So I'm currently working on. I did a prompt when we get to it with Cathedral Wood Goddess. I also thought that would be a good one because I have had a lot of frogging on her.
Belle, but you just did her?
Right. I've had a lot of frogging on Cathedral Wood Goddess's head because I have issues with her head. And in other creative ways...
You spilled coffee on it, had to go rush and clean it up?
No, that was not Cathedral Wood Goddess.
You did that? I was just making a suggestion to the viewers. I didn't know you did that once.
It wasn't coffee. And it wasn't Cathedral Wood Goddess, but I have spilled several things on several projects. I was telling the story today at stitching about how Laura doesn't really stitch on white, because when Laura stitches on white, well, it's the same reason why Laura doesn't wear white. Dirt is attracted to white when it is in my possession. I have to do a major scrub of Slovak Farm because there's a spot, I don't know what it is. I'm pretty sure it's actually coffee. We were talking about cleaning up our cross stitches. Our cross stitch projects.
Though actually this one would work for me.
This one?
Yeah, I had to clean up the floss. Because it has so many flosses, I actually had to buy a bunch of bags and actually sort every single one together. Because otherwise I couldn't keep it together. There was so much.
I have to clean up the beads every time I pull it out. Because, oh my god, the beads on this thing. Still not as bad as Dressmaker's Daughter. I said that today at stitching.
So I guess you're doing Goddess?
Yes, I would like to do Wood
Okay,
Goddess.
next. I'm sorry, I'm going to get this done. I'm getting done.
I do too.
Those are wondering, it's 9:22 at night.
Yeah, we
go to bed
started
at 10.
late. Okay, so Cleveland is home to, in 1951, Cleveland radio DJ Alan Freed first used the term rock and roll to describe music.
That's why that's there.
Yes, that is why. So Cleveland is now home to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which houses not only the Hall of Fame, which lists all of the inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but also has a museum and it showcases music memorabilia. So, stitch on a whip that is in your Hall of Fame. And tell us why. I really could come up with any. All of them.
I wonder how many people are going to ask you, will Hall of Shame work?
Hall of Shame would work. I would say Sampler Book might be the best candidate for that because that one deserves the Hall of Fame when I get it done.
Okay.
Okay. Cleveland is home to the second largest performing arts center in the United States. Playhouse Square is second only to Broadway for its performing arts center. There are 5 different theaters, I don't have them listed, that host Broadway plays, speakers, ballet, the Cleveland International Film Festival, and a variety of other things. We also have the Cleveland Orchestra, 36 different museums ranging from the Natural History Museum, the Botanical Gardens, the Art Museum, which currently has an exhibit about the Tudors. Yes.
Why have you not taken me to any of this? I've been in this state for 17 years, and I haven't been to anything in there.
Want to go to the Art Museum?
I want to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and look at the Dolly Parton thing.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. Like we've never done it.
The Art Museum currently has a display of a special exhibit about the Tudors.
Okay, let's get educated.
So the Art Museum is actually completely free, or there's a small fee, and you pay extra for like the special exhibits. But that's really cool.
Oh, great! So basically,
Botanical Gardens.
The Art Museum gets you with microtransactions.
Yeah. The USS Mathers, which is an old coal ship, much like the Edmund Fitzgerald. So most of you probably have heard the story of the Edmund Fitzgerald that sunk in Lake Superior. Yes, it was Lake Superior. Gordon Lightfoot, who wrote the song about the Edmund Fitzgerald, just passed away. But the USS Mather is another version of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and you can look at it, learn about the maritime history on the on Lake Erie, blah 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 blah. We also have the USS Cod, which is a World War II era submarine. There's the Christmas Story House. If we want to go out of Cleveland, just 30 minutes, there is Christmas. There's Castle Noel, which is Christmas vomit. But it's cool. So all that kind of stuff. So
who the frack wants Christmas? What's any gonna vomit?
And yes, I realize that this prompt is going to be very similar to the last one. Stitch on a Whip you would put in a museum. But I think of a Hall of Fame and a museum as kind of two different things.
Yeah. One of them won't get you won't get Indiana Jones up your ass.
Well, this is also true.
Honestly, I think the
However, sampler book would work. What? What were you gonna say?
You already said it. I was gonna say sample book's pretty enough. It looks like it would go in a museum. You beat me to it.
I was going to say I would say sampler book would be a good museum piece also, because there are quite a few. I don't know if like other areas of the country and world have this, but there's quite a few historical like home museums. I know if we go up the road a piece to Milan, you visit the Thomas Edison house. You know,
it's very common here.
Stuff like that.
Trust me, you want to see that all. You want to see historic home puke? Go to Philadelphia. Not New Jersey, Philadelphia.
And a lot of those historical homes were when young girls would do samplers, so there's a sampler in the home. So that's why I think it's fitting. But that would be a museum, not a Hall of Fame. I could also do Shores of Hopper and Hollow, because I would put that in a maritime museum. And since we have maritime history, we do not have a maritime museum in the Cleveland area. That's actually over in Toledo, which we need to make a road trip. Alright, the final prompt is the Cleveland Sports Curse. It's a much talked about run of bad luck There was even an ESPN documentary, I think it was ESPN, documentary done about the Cleveland sports curse. The Cleveland Browns last won a championship in 1964. And it wasn't until 2016, when the Cleveland Cavaliers won the NBA championship, that Cleveland saw another championship professional sports team. That's 54 years. We currently own the longest running streak for not winning a between World Series wins with the Cleveland now Guardians. The Browns last won a championship, I think, before the Super Bowl was a thing. I'm not a football person. Random fun fact that I didn't add in here, though, is that if you go back through history, you can match up the AHL, that's the step down from the NHL, hockey team. Every year there has been a sports championship in Cleveland, whether it be football, baseball, or basketball. The AHL team has brought home a championship, including 2016. Fun fact. So, stitch on a cursed whip and tell us why it's cursed. I have already completed this. Would you like to know which one it is? I have sampler book down for 3 different prompts. That's 900 stitches this week. I don't know if that's going to happen. I've offered up Cathedral Wood Goddess for this cursed prompt because I feel like this project is slightly cursed.
No, your cursed prompt you don't want to stitch on because you stitched on it recently.
I have several. But Cathedral Wood Goddess gets to be cursed because when I initially was kitting it up, we were having all kinds of supply shortages, and Krynic was so far backed up that when Witchell finally sent me my Krynic, I have quite a few spools of the called for Krynic in this.
Can you mute that for a second?
Y'all, the cat just got in trouble.
He climbed up on my chair. I looked over and he's sniffing at my bag of sunflower seeds. No. I don't know if cats are going to get into it, but this little brat would get into it just to get into it.
Our cat will try to eat anything, so yeah, I would expect he would. So Cathedral Wood Goddess is cursed because of the Krynic issue.
And the head.
I have had issues with her. I have pulled her horn out a couple of times.
Just so you just said that. Ouch.
I stitched part of the metallic on her dress in the wrong metallic color. I cut the fabric wonky when I cut my fabric. And we won't even really go into the fact that I started this as the Sal with someone who no longer talks to me.
Okay.
Yes.
At that point, can we just move on now?
And yes, I'm finishing it to spite her.
Move on now. I don't want to die. Don't bring up evil.
You're not gonna die.
No, from your head exploding with me being this close to you.
That's all the prompts for the week. I do have my passes, which lets me pass on one of my prompts. I'm probably gonna use that for one.
Passing on your own week. That's funny.
I know. So that's the prompts for the week, and yeah, I'm tired. So that's plans. I'm gonna do. Excuse me. The monthly is Mayflowers. I've got 5 of the 10 done. Don't ask me what I don't have done at the top of my head. At some point I'll pull that out and pick a prompt. You'll pick something and we'll try to we'll make it fit. Words are hard. Okay. That's it. That's all we have this week. I feel like it's been a lot this week. I feel like this has been a long video. I'm sorry if it's been a long video and you've made it this far. I appreciate it.
I'm just going to say the this and the this and the this was not because I was bored about what Laura was saying. It's because I'm legit going to go walk the dog and then go to bed.
Yeah. It's 9:30. It's almost bedtime. So, what would we like the people to do?
Have a nice day. Please like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, thingy Bobby, the whole YouTube crud. I said subscribe, bell notification, share, comment. Basically, interact with our stuff. Tell your friends to interact with our stuff.
Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us this week. Maybe a lot of time with us this week. I don't know how long this video is. Have a fantastic week, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye!